Okay, I want to speak for everybody because I know this is what people are pissed off about. Ladies and gentlemen, where in this tavern do you see a quality of life update? That's right, you're not crazy. There is not one. What did Plarium tell us? They told us the next update was going to be a quality of life one for the tavern. If by quality of life, they mean quality of the life of the people who will be spending the money we give them for the feast and the barrows, because that is the only quality of life update I've seen in this here. Adding a new item that I can get, by the way, if I get first place in my tournament, isn't quality of life. I don't understand where my quality of life is increasing. I don't understand how the game just got easier for me, because it is factually impossible for me to get 11,000 summoning points to get the one feast. I would argue this man's quality of life is probably worse for having done this. I would think, on my personal biased flaming ginger of an opinion, that if we're going to say we're going to have a tavern quality of life update, it might have had something to do with the fact that we have to level all of these 1 stars independently, crunch them up independently. Maybe I'm the stupid person, but I thought maybe it would have something to do with my carpal tunnel or arthritis. You know, I play the piano and I can only play for about 15 to 20 minutes at a time because I start to get a whole bunch of burning right here in my arm, and the tavern definitely isn't doing anything to help me with that situation. Your feast and barrows are not helping me with the quality of my life with that situation either. Up quality of life on Google, we look by the actual definition from Oxford Languages. It states the standard of health, comfort, and happiness experienced by an individual or group. Their example sentence, the things that are needed for good quality of life. I think the things that are needed for a good quality of Raid Shadow Legends life, since we're in fact talking about the video game, would be things that make, I don't know, your life more enjoyable, not your heroes stronger. If your argument to me today is that the quality of life you're offering me is that this Lanicus that I'm going to be 6-starring, when I click, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and go to click the 5th chicken, that is too much work for me instead of just clicking the one feast. I understand that you are reducing my clicks by a 1-to-5 ratio. However, my argument would be that an additional 4 clicks in this scenario, when spread across the fact that you don't give me any goddamn fucking chickens you took it out of my login anyway, doesn't really matter. Furthermore, I'd like to point out that the best quality of life change you did by that definition, by that word anyway, would be actually removing the chickens out of the daily login reward. That's one less click I have to click now when I'm using the chicken. The logic doesn't make sense. It's not less clicks that we have to do. It's more money we have to spend. And this doesn't necessarily correlate to a better life within the game. And it definitely doesn't correlate to what video gamers' definition of quality of life is either. And I guarantee you everyone else's definition is the same as mine, which is it is easier to navigate the infrastructure of the game. It is easier to navigate the annoying cadences of the game that stop us to get between the gameplay experience, and is actually not the point of the game. Instead, what we have here is a narrative, a dictated, obvious director point of we are pushing that what we want you to focus on is feasts and barrows. Well, okay, let's do that. Maybe this would be a quality of life if feasts and barrows were something that were actually, I don't know, given to us, added in the daily logins, easily rewardable for free to play. You know what? That probably would have fit the Oxford definition. My life might have been more enjoyable. You know what's not more enjoyable for me by that definition? Watch another player burn thousands of dollars to get a feast that there's no way in God's name I am physically capable of getting anyway. Let me put it in terms you can understand. Even if I was spending up to every dollar I have in my bank account right now, I could not catch this human being. I would argue things like the Classic Arena Tournament maybe were a little bit more reasonable. Maybe if the top 10 were getting a barrel, the top 5 were getting a feast, that might make some sense. That's something that we can kind of grind. You get some Classic Arena refills at a fairly decent rate, and you give us the free ones in the shop. Maybe that would have fit in the quality of life. Maybe. But again, it doesn't actually fit what the gaming definition of quality of life is, because quality of life is making the game easier. It's fixing bugs, it's fixing problems, it's fixing things that fundamentally remove from the purpose and enjoyment of the game. Things that are not intended, and I don't think having to click a whole bunch on your 2 stars to crunch people up, or the same thing with every single brew. The level isn't either. You know what would have been quality of life? What if I scroll down here to the brews and click and hold on this brew and it just whoop, fills them up in a row? That would have been quality of life, but that would have taken some thought process on how to help the people, not yourself, to do that one. And unfortunately, if you're asking me today, your quality of life is both stupid and impractical in implementation, design, and practice. And I also personally believe that you should stop using the words you mean. Just say you have a new product you're selling. I don't think people care if you say you have a new product you're selling. It's not exactly the cat is not still in the bag about this being a game where you can spend money on it. So just say you're fucking selling something. No one cares. You're not going to get shit for it. You know what you are going to get shit for it? When I log into the tavern and think I have a quality of life update, and instead it's a goddamn barrel that I don't even own. So what's the thesis of this video? Oh, it's simple. Let's use the English language the way it's actually defined. How about quality of life means quality of life, not product for sale? I think it's pretty much that simple. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, again, maybe I'm the idiot. I could very well be, but what I don't understand is how you're benefiting yourself by saying we're going to update the tavern with a quality of life thing, and then you just sell a feast as the #1 in a championship. I mean, you're not even being sneaky. I don't know if you think you are, but like you're being as sneaky as somebody like going to the store wearing no clothes because they think they're invisible and they don't want to see the clothes floating. You know what I mean? It's like, what? The logic doesn't make sense, and you're not invisible, and we can see your bare ass.